Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're always looking for those stories, those studies that really make you stop and think. And today, well, they've got something special. We're digging into the story of Dorothy. She's 104 years old, and her morning routine kind of defies a lot of what doctors, thought they knew about getting older. Just imagine someone, 104, but with the energy, maybe like a 70-year-old, and mentally sharp, maybe like a 50-year-old. That's Dorothy. So our mission today is to really unpack her daily habits, the ones that seem to have transformed her life. It's like a shortcut, really, to understanding some surprising longevity ideas. And honestly, what you're about to discover, it might just offer insights that could genuinely impact your own health journey. Maybe things your doctor hasn't mentioned.
It really is an extraordinary case. It's not just reaching 104. Lots of people live long lives, but it's the vitality. That's what's stunning. For so long, the standard medical view has been that aging means decline. You get tired, frail, maybe confused. Dorothy's story just flies in the face of that. It shows that maybe that decline isn't guaranteed. It seems dangerously wrong, actually.
Yeah, and to really get how amazing this is, we need to rewind a bit. Back when Dorothy was 68, she wasn't like this at all. Our sources, they paint this picture of her being bedridden, depressed even. Her family was apparently preparing for the worst. She couldn't even climb stairs without, gasping for breath. It was then at that low point she kind of stumbled onto these morning rituals, and they changed everything. And the change is just dramatic. From bedridden to now, at 104, literally climbing mountains on weekends. It's almost hard to believe. And here's a stark contrast. Her neighbor, Harold, same age. Similar health issues back at 68. Harold did everything by the book. Took his meds, ate that heart-healthy diet, the low-fat stuff, got his 8 hours sleep, did the light exercise the doctor recommended.
Exactly. He followed all the conventional advice, and this is where their paths just completely diverge. It's quite sobering. Harold, well, he followed the rules, but he got weaker, more confused, and sadly, he passed away at 86.
Yeah.
Our sources say his last years were in a fog of confusion and pain. Yeah. And Dorothy, 18 years later, she's still climbing those mountains. And the key thing, the sources really stress this, it wasn't superior genes. Her parents died in their 70s.
Right.
It wasn't luck either. She was actually in worse shape than Harold back then. The difference, it really seems to boil down to these specific morning rituals she developed. It just powerfully highlights how much consistent daily habits can impact, long-term health, real vitality.
That contrast,
Yeah.
it's powerful. So, okay, let's unpack this routine. It starts early, right? 5:30 a.m. She gets up, walks barefoot to her kitchen window, opens it wide. And this is regardless of the weather.
Regardless of the weather. Hold, rain, doesn't matter.
Okay. And then the first action. Exactly. 7 deep breaths of cold morning air. We said it's not just like breathing deeply. There's a pattern.
Yes, exactly. It's not just casual breathing. It's a very specific pattern. And combined with that cold air, that's the crucial part. It triggers a very specific physiological response. Japanese researchers, the sources mentioned, they've been looking into this for decades. Western medicine mostly ignored it. It activates something called cold-induced thermogenesis.
Thermogenesis, making heat.
Basically, yes. It forces your body to create heat by burning stored fat. But even more importantly, it seems to reactivate brown fat tissue.
Brown fat? I thought that was just for babies.
We used to think that. But adults do have some, and it usually decreases with age. Reactivating it makes your body way more efficient at using food for energy instead of storing it as, the bad kind of fat that clogs arteries and causes inflammation.
Wow. So it's like optimizing your internal furnace.
In a way, yes, and it's not totally new. The principles behind this, they're similar to techniques used by Tibetan monks for centuries.
Really?
And now science is catching up. Studies show controlled cold exposure can boost lifespan in lab animals, maybe by up to 20%. And in humans, it's linked to better immune function, lower risk of age-related diseases. It seems to slow aging right down at the cellular level.
Ancient wisdom meets modern science. I love that. Okay, so cold breaths first. But that's not all, right? What's step 2? I heard it involves something potentially unpleasant.
Well, maybe bracing is a better word. After the breathing, she goes straight to the tap, fills a glass with the coldest water she can get, adds exactly 1 tablespoon of raw apple cider vinegar.
Okay. Raw. That's important.
Seems to be. Raw, unpasteurized. And then she drinks it all fast, under 30 seconds.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that sounds challenging. But apparently something amazing happens in the next 20 minutes or so. Metabolic awakening, I think was the term used.
That's the term researchers are using, yes.
Okay.
It's like this combination kickstarts her whole digestive system, but it's more than just, burning calories. The really significant thing is it seems to trigger repair mechanisms, repairing damage that's built up over years in her organs.
Which organs?
Specifically, the liver, kidneys, and maybe most importantly, the brain, which could explain why at 104, she can remember phone numbers from 40 years ago.
Yeah.
That kind of mental sharpness.
That's incredible. So it's deep cellular repair.
It appears so. The apple cider vinegar seems to help balance the body's pH levels, too. This makes the cells better at absorbing nutrients.
Right.
And, maybe the biggest piece, it boosts autophagy.
Autophagy, that's the cell cleanup process.
Right, exactly. It's like your cell's internal recycling system. Taking out the trash, breaking down old, damaged parts, proteins, bits of cells, and recycling them into new, healthy components. When autophagy is working efficiently every morning, well, our sources suggest it can literally reverse years of cellular aging in just months.
That sounds revolutionary.
It's pretty profound, and there's research to back this up. Japanese scientists did a 2-year study on elderly people. Daily vinegar consumption significantly improved markers of aging, better cardiovascular health, better blood sugar control, and yes, better cognitive function.
So optimizing that internal cleanup crew every single day. Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, breathing vinegar drink. What's the final piece of this morning puzzle?
There's a waiting period involved. Yes, and the timing is apparently crucial. After the vinegar drink, she waits exactly 90 minutes. No solid food before then.
90 minutes, okay. What does she do during that time? Not just sit around.
Definitely not. She calls it purposeful movement. It's not like hitting the gym. It's things like reorganizing a drawer, carefully hand-washing some clothes, writing letters to friends.
Interesting. Why those kinds of activities?
The idea is that these tasks force her brain and body to work together in complex, nuanced ways. It's different from just repetitive exercise. It engages different neural pathways.
Like a mind-body connection thing, but very practical. So what's happening inside her body during those 90 minutes, her digestion is already primed by the vinegar.
Exactly. Her digestive system is in this optimal state. And during this window, the purposeful movement seems to help her brain create new neural pathways. Her muscles get gentle work, maintaining flexibility and strength without heavy wear and tear. And her cardiovascular system gets this sort of gentle, sustained stimulation, good blood flow everywhere, including those tiny capillaries in the brain. Super important for memory.
Right.
And get this, sources say Harvard Medical School research now confirms this kind of combination. The cold exposure, the ACV, the purposeful movement in that specific window, it creates a whole cascade of benefits. Things like better insulin sensitivity, more autophagy, like we talked about, and increased production of BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor.
BDNF, fertilizer for the brain.
That's a great way to put it. It helps brain cells grow, connect, repair themselves. This whole protocol also fits really well with new research on circadian rhythms and intermittent fasting, suggesting that when you eat, especially after 60 when digestion can slow down, might be just as important as what you eat.
The science is really starting to connect the dots on these seemingly simple things. It's fascinating. So what were the actual results for Dorothy? The measurable stuff? I understand her doctor, Dr. Martinez, was skeptical at first, but saw some pretty stunning things.
He absolutely was skeptical. Dr. Martinez has been her doctor for over 20 years. But yeah, he shared her recent results. And they were, well, stunning is the right word, her blood work, her cognitive tests. They showed markers you'd expect to see in a healthy 60-year-old.
Not a 104-year-old.
Not at all. Inflammation levels, almost zero. Kidney, liver function, optimal. Bone density, like someone 30 years younger. And her brain scans, this is remarkable, showed very little of the shrinkage or reduced activity you normally see with advanced age.
Wow. It's like she literally paused the aging clock in some ways.
That was Dr. Martinez's conclusion, essentially, that she'd somehow found a way to pause and in some aspects even reverse parts of the normal aging process.
Incredible. And there was something else too. These mental clarity attacks. What was that about?
Yes, that's maybe even more intriguing. Around age 90, she started experiencing these moments of incredibly sharp focus and insight. Like, complex problems would suddenly seem simple. She'd see patterns no one else saw. She actually kept a journal about it for 14 years, documenting these breakthrough moments.
A journal of mental breakthroughs at 90 plus.
Exactly. It suggests that this kind of optimized morning routine doesn't just maintain brain function. It might actually make the brain more efficient, more creative, capable of problem solving on a different level, like accessing cognitive abilities most people just don't develop.
So, okay, let's bring it all together. What's the big picture here?
Yeah.
If Dorothy's routine works so well, what's the underlying mechanism? What's it really targeting?
Well, the thinking among many researchers now is that it targets what might be the root cause of a lot of aging issues.
Yeah.
Chronic, low-level inflammation. It's like this constant simmering fire inside that damages tissues over time.
Right, inflammatory.
Exactly. So by following her protocol, day in, day out, you're potentially dramatically reducing that inflammation while also boosting your body's own natural repair systems. You're basically giving your body the tools it needs to maintain itself, more like it did when you were younger.
And a key part of this you mentioned is that she wasn't super rigid. She listened to her body.
Yes, and that's crucial for sustainability, isn't it? It wasn't some complicated, strict protocol she found in a book. She developed it through observation, experimenting. Maybe one day she felt she needed 10 breaths instead of 7, or added a pinch of sea salt to the vinegar water. She listened. That adaptability makes it doable long term. It really shows that sometimes the most powerful solutions are the simplest ones, just waiting for us to pay attention.
Which brings us right back to you, listening right now. We want to issue a little challenge, inspired by Dorothy. Try a simplified version of her routine for just 1 week. See how you feel. Just wake up 30 minutes earlier, go to an open window, take 7 slow, deep breaths of that fresh, cool air. Then, the glass of cold water with 1 tablespoon of raw apple cider vinegar. Gulp it down. Wait 90 minutes before you eat anything solid. And during that time, do some purposeful movement. Tidy a shelf, write a thank you note, sort some papers, something mindful, and maybe jot down a few notes each day in a journal. How's your energy, your focus? We genuinely think by day 7, you'll start noticing some real changes in energy, mental clarity, just overall well-being.
And here's a final thought to leave you with. What's so fascinating about Dorothy is she didn't just add years to her life. She clearly added life to her years, real vitality. So it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other simple, intuitive things might our bodies be asking for? What could we unlock in our health, our minds, if we just learn to truly listen?